morning, all. Thank you for being on this call. We're going into week 15. This has been interesting. On behalf of the Pittsburgh Foundation, Forbes Fund's Board of Directors, our extended philanthropic family of supporters, and of course, our staff at the Forbes Funds, we thank you and welcome you onto our weekly call. We always want to give homage to our fallen citizens. We honor their lives, their contributions, their humanity, the sacrifices they've made, and they continue to make to ensure that our freedoms are observed, our human rights are honored, and that we create equity and inclusion across our entire country and world. Since the beginning of COVID-19, we facilitated through Zoom 623 meetings with a total of 9,721 participants. Every week, I try to remind people of 4 critical flashpoints that we'll have over the next 29 and a half years. We have a current condition with our income inequality. 2030, we'll have climate change situations we have to confront before that. 2040, the minority becomes the majority in the US. In 2050, 70% of the world's population will move into the urban corridor. Each one of those dynamics requires us to have a forward-thinking framework, and we're having all of this occur during the COVID period. And so it's very important for us to understand how we look at systems and ecosystems. So I'll clarify, if you've heard me over the past few weeks talk about systems and ecosystems. I define systems as current what we used to use the word paradigms, current systems that are predicated on economic stability and production. I consider ecosystems to be systems that are created on human-centered design, focusing on people, not just economics. And so over the past 31 months, the Forbes Funds has shifted its grant making to encompass 2 wireframes. One is the social determinants of health that we often refer to, that are outlined by education, economic stability, neighborhood and built environment, social and community context, health and healthcare. If you look at our work over the past 31 months, it's focused in 2 areas: human services and community development, that encompass these 5 social determinants of health. In 2018, we also worked with the city of Pittsburgh, and in 2019, the city of Pittsburgh became the 2nd US city to adopt the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These goals represent 17 global frameworks by which the whole world is looking at how we address these 17 critical issues. Over the past several years, we have been looking at how we optimize our grant making through both of these wireframes, and then how do we aggregate the impact of our work across these dynamics. So Tamika and her team has been the force behind our effort to really shift our grant making since her arrival. Within the first 4 quarters of our pivot, we increased our grant making by 400% using this framework. We had predicted almost 30 months ago there would be a shock and stress to the sector. We had no way of knowing it would be COVID. But we have been coaching, mentoring, and supporting organizations since over the past 30 months to really look at how do you innovate, how do you strategically collaborate, how you look at resource sharing, back office support, staff sharing, because everybody's not going to survive this in the current state they walked into it in. Those of us thinking we're going to be okay the way we walked in are not having a realistic framework of what's going on in the world. And so I'm not attempting to scare anyone, but I am drawing attention that we have to shift. So I was looking at this thing I wanted to share with people, and I wanted to just talk to you about this thing called the Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod talks about these things that create platforms for how you transform your thinking. And the acronym is SAVERS. And SAVERS stands for silence, how you start your day, how you might meditate. Affirmations, the thing you think about in your day that's positive, that you speak into the universe. Visualizing how you see your work transforming both you, your family, and the world that you live in. Exercise, making exercise a daily part of your day. Reading, you know, you always have to increase your IQ around the world and the things that's going on. Inscribing, journalizing, taking a journal and writing about your work. And so I mentioned to you guys several weeks ago, I gained COVID-19 pounds during this period, and I was upwards of 220. Last week I was down to 205. And so I've used these frameworks to help me recenter myself and to create a focus that really allows me to look at our work. Now, the one thing I'm guilty of is I haven't taken a vacation, primarily because we've had a fluctuation in our team. We just got to a point where we have about 85% of our team on board. And so now I feel comfortable as a leader that I actually can step away and my team is in a good position to manage everything we have in place. Concurrently, we're working on some big stuff as well that pulls all of the work we're doing together to really create a holistic response through our current framework. And so without further ado, I welcome our invited guest who's a friend and colleague and partner. I'm excited to hear about her work and I look forward to a robust conversation. Thank you and good morning.